Welcome to Mystic Realms Recap. Links are in the description below. Please show some love of the author and me. On to the show. In the overload mode, the light power of Adin's spear has been strengthened several times. These Zerg are impossible to be the opponents of Adin's spear. However, Su Yan still found an anomaly. None of these Zerg seem to feel pain, and their numbers don't seem to be decreasing. This situation also caused Su Yan's brows to wrinkle slightly. Are these Zerg endless? How long can my ship last? Su Yan said, a little depressed. If this continues, the danger this time must be resolved. But now, Su Yan's ships are almost at their limit. If they continue to fight like this, these ships are not the opponents of the Zerg. Anyway, there are too many of these Zerg. Damn, these worms can't be killed no matter how. 110 Su Yan looked at these Zerg and was also very depressed. At this moment, Su Yan suddenly discovered that the number of these Zerg was fading rapidly. What's going on? Are these Zerg going to evacuate? Su Yan's heart was also slightly taken aback, and then he understood. It turned out that the power of the Spear of Adon in the overload mode was greatly increased. The closer the Zerg got, the higher the power, which made the Zerg have to keep some distance. And now, the power of Adin's spear has greatly increased, so these Zerg are naturally afraid of Adin's spear. Under the attack of the Spear of Adin in the overload mode, the Zerg ship suffered heavy losses, which made the Zerg will be furious. Although the number of these Zerg is large, they are not stupid, and they know what will be waiting for them if this continues. The power of Adin's spear in overload mode increases sharply, which is the biggest advantage of Adin's spear. There are too many Zerg. Although the Spear of Adin is powerful, it will take a long time to defeat them all, and this time is enough for the Zerg to withdraw. And the consumption of Adin's spear is also very terrifying. Now, the consumption of Adin's spear is already very serious. When Bying saw the Zerg, he had already started to prepare to attack the Zerg. It can be said that Bying hated the Zerg. Bying also knew that these Zerg came to attack Su Yan, so she naturally would not let the Zerg go. When Su Yan manipulated the Spear of Adin to kill these Zerg, Bying was also constantly attacking the Zerg. The number of Zerg is too much, so Su Yan's Spear of Adon is also a bit difficult. Moreover, the Spear of Adon has no way to continuously attack these Zerg. However, Su Yan also found a problem, that is, although the power of Adin's spear in overload mode is greatly increased, the energy of Adin's spear is not enough. The Spear of Adon in overload mode consumes too much and can't last for so long. If this continues, the energy of Adin's spear will be exhausted sooner or later. Moreover, this consumption will continue for a long time. After such a long consumption, Su Yan also felt the pressure. If this continues, the energy of Adin's spear will definitely be completely consumed. Su Yan also knew that if this continued, the Spear of Adin would be exhausted sooner or later. Su Yan has no other way now. He can only hope that the Spear of Adin in overload mode can last for a while longer. Under Su Yan's manipulation, Adin's spear attacked one after another, and each attack was very sharp. However, such an attack also made Adin's spear consume faster. Moreover, Su Yan also noticed that these Zerg did not seem to feel tired at all. Su Yan also understands that if it continues, the energy of Adin's spear will be completely consumed. In this way, Su Yan is really in danger. Seems like that's the only way to go. After thinking for a moment, Su Yan also said through gritted teeth. Su Yan also understands that if he continues like this, he will soon be in a desperate situation. However, now he has no other choice. Since these Zerg are all aimed at themselves, then they can only fight. Su Yan no longer hesitated, he directly opened the Spear of Adin, let the Spear of Adin fly in front of him, and the Spear of Adin instantly turned into a giant golden barrel. The appearance of this barrel is made of a strange material. Not only the color is strange, but the pattern on the barrel is also very old. Su Yan also didn't feel any energy fluctuations from Adin's spear. As soon as Su Yan pressed the button of the barrel, the golden barrel also exploded instantly and turned into a ball of flame. Such explosions are extremely powerful, and the flames of these explosions also swept in all directions. Under the impact of these explosions, those Zerg were also blown out one after another. Moreover, the flames of these explosions spread all the way, and wherever they passed, the Zerg turned into ashes. However, under such an explosion, there were still some Zerg who escaped, but there were also some Zerg who died under the explosion. Under Su Yan's manipulation, wherever Aden's spear passes, a blood-red trace will be left. And these Zerg did not dare to approach the spear of Aden. These Zerg are also very clear, the power of Aden's spear is huge, once it gets close, then it will definitely die without a place to be buried. The Zerg did not dare to approach the spear of Aden, and could only keep avoiding the spear of Aden. Damn it! Seeing that the Zerg actually avoided, Su Yan also cursed. He didn't expect that this group of Zerg was so cunning and knew how to avoid their own attacks. Under Su Yan's control, Aden's spear kept bombarding these Zerg, and these Zerg also died one by one. If this continues, Chapter 2.6 will probably use up the energy of Aden's spear. Seeing such a situation, Bying also became a little worried. That's right, if it goes on like this, the energy of Aden's spear will be exhausted, and at that time, the Zerg can attack recklessly. Su Yan also nodded, he really has no way to continue to consume like this now. At this time, shouldn't you find a way to make the spear of Aden stronger? Bying said, as long as the spear of Aden can be made more powerful, the attack power of spear of Aden can be greatly improved, and the consumption of spear of Aden can be reduced a lot. Hearing Bai Ying's words, Su Yan was also stunned. Bai Ying's words made sense. As long as the attack power of Aden's spear can be enhanced, then Aden's spear can continue to consume these Zerg. So, what should I do? Su Yan said. Then it's up to you. Bai Ying said, as long as you can find a way to quickly restore the energy of Aden's spear, then Aden's spear does not need to consume too much energy, and your Aden's spear can also fight more easily. Hearing this, Su Yan also pondered. By the way, I remember you once said that you have a treasure that can quickly replenish energy, and the value of that treasure is not cheap, and it is also very precious to these Zerg. Suddenly, Bai Ying seemed to think of something, and immediately said to Su Yan. Well, there is such a treasure, and it is still in my hands. Hearing Bai Ying's words, Su Yan also nodded. Then you take it out, and I will help you activate the spear of Aden. Bai Ying said immediately. Su Yan also nodded, and then, Su Yan took out the star stone and handed it to Bai Ying. Bai Ying took the star stone and put it on the spear of Aden, and then she started to activate the spear of Aden. As the golden flame on Aden's spear burned, Bai Ying could also feel that the energy on Aden's spear was rapidly dissipating. However, Su Yan looked at everything in front of him with a calm expression. He is very clear that as long as the energy of Aden's spear can be restored to its peak state, then the attack power of Aden's spear will be greatly improved again. Su Yan believed that the power of Aden's spear would definitely kill the Zerg in front of him and keep them out of his sight forever. When Bai Ying was urging Aden's spear, a golden lightning suddenly cut through the void and slashed at the group of Zerg. These Zerg were also blown to pieces by this golden lightning and died. What a powerful attack! Seeing the attack power of Aden's spear, Su Yan was also surprised. Such attack power is really terrifying. It seems that you still have to make a move. Su Yan murmured. Afterwards, Bai Ying turned his attention to Aden's spear, and also sent energy on Aden's spear, making the attack power of Aden's spear continue to become stronger. Soon, the attack power of Aden's spear doubled. Alright, give you some more energy, the power of Aden's spear can be greatly improved. Soon, Bai Ying said to Su Yan, and at the same time, she also took back the spear of Aden. Well, thank you very much, Bai Ying, thank you for helping me, otherwise, I really don't know what to do. Su Yan looked at Bai Ying and said sincerely. Don't be polite, you are my master, and it is right for me to help you. Bai Ying shook her head and said. Su Yan nodded, and then, he continued to wield the spear of Aden, firing the spear of Aden towards the Zerg group, and continuously harvesting the lives of these Zerg. Boom! At this moment, a golden energy ball fell from the sky and smashed heavily into the Zerg camp. Immediately, the entire Zerg camp was smashed into a big pit by the golden energy ball, and deep cracks appeared on the edge of the big pit. This scene also frightened these Zerg a lot. They have never encountered such a golden energy ball, nor have they seen such a huge golden energy ball, so it is no wonder that these Zerg were so frightened. And Su Yan, seeing this scene, also said with a sneer, "Humph, now, it's my turn to fight back. He is not a good man and a woman. Since these Zerg have violated his limit, then there is no need for him to keep his hands, and he does not intend to waste his time. Moreover, now he also has some urgency, he needs more combat experience and needs more killing." Su Yan, this time, the two of us joined forces, Bai Ying said. Soon, Bai Ying and Su Yan, one after the other, launched a frantic attack on these Zerg. Moreover, they are also constantly releasing the energy of Aden's spear. Under the crazy attack of the two of them, these Zerg also began to suffer heavy casualties. Moreover, these Zerg were still dying in waves, and their deaths were also increasing. And Su Yan and Bai Ying also learned a lot of combat experience in this battle, and also know that the battle in this universe is either you die or I live. Moreover, in the battle, he will continue to hone himself. Su Yan has mastered all the mysteries of Aden's spear, and, with their cooperation, the power of Aden's spear has also been exploded to the greatest extent, and Bai Ying's combat experience has also been continuously improved. Under their attack, these Zerg also died more than one wave after another, but this is normal. After all, both of them are the masters of Aden's spear, and the power of Aden's spear will naturally increase by a large margin. Promote. The Zerg realized that Su Yan's attack had increased greatly, and immediately ordered the Zerg ships to disperse, but they chose to retreat. Su Yan saw their actions, and he also knew that these Zerg must be afraid of his Spear of Aden. It was a quick escape. Su Yan looked at the Zerg ships scattered around, a sneer appeared in the corner of his mouth, and then continued to wield the Spear of Aden. One after another golden energy columns burst out from the spear of the Sub-110, and flew towards the Zerg. However, although Aden's spear can deal with those Zerg, these Zerg are not vegetarian, their defense is very strong, and they are not afraid of the attack on Aden's spear. Soon, golden rays of light erupted again on the Spear of Aden. These golden rays of light all rushed towards these Zerg, and then, an explosion sounded, and all these Zerg were blown away. This scene made Su Yan speechless. He didn't expect the Zerg's defense to be so powerful. This is just the energy on the Spear of Aden. However, although the Spear of Aden could defeat the Zerg, he could not control the power of Spear of Aden. At this time, the overload mode of Aden's spear is over. At the moment when the overload mode ended, the energy of Aden's spear weakened a lot in an instant, and then disappeared. The biggest feature of Aden's spear is the overload mode, and when Su Yan used the overload mode just now, the power of this Aden's spear has reached the top level. The Spear of Aden in the overload mode has the power to destroy the world, and the power will continue to skyrocket and evolve. It's a pity that the Spear of Aden in overload mode doesn't last long. After the end, the overload mode will be lifted, and the power of Aden's spear will be weakened a lot. After Su Yan saw the power of Aden's spear disappear, his face couldn't help but look ugly. He didn't expect that Aden's spear was so vulnerable. Su Yan, this is your mistake, you didn't use your Aden spear perfectly, so you can only use this method to deal with the Zerg. After seeing the expression on Su Yan's face, Bai Ying said, and then continued, next, you should also pay attention to your own situation. Although these Zerg are very fragile, they also have a high chance to kill again. Back. Saying this, Bai Ying also looked at Su Yan. Hearing this, Su Yan was also slightly taken aback. He didn't expect that these Zerg had really come back, which made his face even more ugly. At this moment, he also had a feeling that he had nowhere to hide. Su Yan immediately let Aden's spear use the warp resonance to leave the central battlefield, and the Sun God ship also immediately responded to Aden's spear to prevent Aden's spear from being attacked by Zerg ships. However, the energy of Aden's spear was exhausted, and it no longer had the ability to fly, and could only rely on the energy supply of the Sun God ship. At this time, those Zerg races also came towards them one after another. Su Yan and Baiying saw this scene, their faces became solemn. They did not expect that these Zerg were so difficult to deal with. At this time, Su Yan also directly turned the Hyperion into overload mode. Under the overload mode, the speed of the Hyperion was instantly increased many times and became faster. Su Yan's eyes kept staring at the front. I saw that there were hundreds of Zerg warships chasing them. These Zerg warships were very large and several times larger than other Zerg warships. Each of these hundreds of Zerg battleships is several kilometers long, with an extremely exaggerated body shape. The fighting skills of these Zerg battleships are very skilled. These Zerg battleships are the most powerful among the Zerg. Each battleship has a very terrifying combat power, and the fighting methods of these Zerg are also very strange and difficult to deal with. This gave Su Yan a headache looking at these Zerg battleships. And Su Yan also discovered that these Zerg, not all gathered together, their warships, are distributed around. Obviously, these Zerg also know that they are not Su Yan's opponents, so they all keep a certain distance and are ready to look for opportunities. Once they find Su Yan's space station, they will attack immediately and will never give Su Yan any breathing opportunity. Seeing this scene, Su Yan couldn't help but scolded. I didn't expect that the Zerg actually learned to be smart and know how to win with wisdom. These Zerg are simply a bunch of evildoers. Su Yan looked at the Zerg battleship in front and became a little depressed. The Hyperion had already turned on the overload mode, and Su Yan directly controlled the power of the enhanced Yamato gun and bombarded the Zerg battleship. This time, he did not use the Spear of Adon, but directly used the Yamato cannon. Although the power of the Yamato cannon is only about twice that of the ordinary model Yamato cannon, the power is also quite terrifying. The Yamato cannon directly hit one of the Zerg battleships, and the Zerg battleship was directly pierced by the cannon. However, the other two Zerg battleships were not sunk, but collided directly in the direction of the Hyperion. Damn, why is this trick again? Seeing this scene, Su Yan couldn't help but scolded secretly. These Zerg battleships are really cheap. They use this trick every time, and then suddenly attack Su Yan when Su Yan is not paying attention. However, their tricks, for Su Yan, have no effect at all, because Su Yan is not worried at all. Su Yan continued to control the enhanced Yamato cannon, firing continuously. After each Yamato cannon fell, it would smash the Zerg battleship. And these Zerg battleships did not dare to approach Su Yan's enhanced Yamato cannon rashly. Soon, Su Yan's enhanced version of Yamato cannon smashed all these Zerg battleships into sieves, and only a few battleships remained undamaged. This surprised the Zerg, and they never imagined that Su Yan could do such a thing. These Zerg battleships were like lambs to be slaughtered in front of Su Yan. Seeing this scene, Su Yan couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief. He could finally take a rest. The nervous and exciting state just now really made him too tired. However, Su Yan did not forget his goal. He continued to drive the Hyperion to wander around, looking for opportunities. Su Yan drives the Hyperion and has been flying non-stop in this area. He just wants to wait for the opportunity, and then, he wants to destroy all the Zerg battleships in one go. I have to say that some Zerg battleships are really powerful, and even in front of the Hyperion, they are not damaged at all. They are battleships after all. As long as they can break through their defensive cover, then these Zerg will surely die. Su Yan glanced at the Hyperion and found that the Hyperion still had a lot of energy, so he continued to control the Hyperion to attack these Zerg battleships. In the Hyperion's overload mode, the amount of energy is staggering. At this time, the Zerg also knew that the Hyperion was a trouble, and they all avoided being bombed by the Hyperion. And Su Yan also saw that there were some Zerg warships that had already found their tracks and wanted to escape, but the speed of them was much slower than that of the Hyperion. Moments can catch up to wipe out these Zerg. Su Yan controls the Hyperion and continues to entangle with these Zerg. Su Yan also saw this scene and couldn't help sneering. He didn't sit still either. He directly increased the speed of the Hyperion to the maximum, and then charged directly towards the Zerg battleship. The Hyperion, with a gust of wind, rushed towards the Zerg battleships. Along the way, it directly smashed the Zerg battleships into pieces. Not even a single piece of steel was left. Although the defensive covers of these Zerg battleships were powerful, they were unable to withstand the mighty attack of the Hyperion. The strength of the Hyperion has reached the level of 3,000 tons, and the power of the enhanced Yamato cannon has also been strengthened. Therefore, the attack power of the Hyperion can be said to be very terrifying. The Hyperion's attack directly blew up all the Zerg battleships, and none of them were left. Even if the Zerg fled far away, the Hyperion would still chase and kill them and give these Zerg battleships as well. Boom into scum, let them disappear from this world forever. At this time, Su Yan saw this scene and couldn't help showing a satisfied smile. All of this is within the scope of his plan. He controls the enhanced version of the Yamato cannon, constantly attacking in the Zerg battleship group. The will of the Zerg did not expect that the two SS-class ships possessed the perverted skill of the overload state, and for a while, they were also a bit stingy, and they did not dare to act rashly. And Su Yan's goal is to destroy all the Zerg battleships. However, the Zerg's response was also very fast. Under the attack of Su Yan's enhanced Yamato cannon, these Zerg warships also continuously attacked Su Yan's enhanced Yamato cannon, trying to prevent the enhanced Yamato cannon's attack. However, the Zerg warships were completely vulnerable in front of the Hyperion, and the attack launched by the Hyperion could directly destroy them. In this way, the losses of the Zerg battleships became more and more serious. However, the number of 110 Zerg battleships is still more than 1,000. This number is already very large. If it is an ordinary battleship, it is simply not enough to withstand the attack of the Zerg battleship. However, the Hyperion has an overload mode, which allows their attacks to exert great power, which is one of the reasons why Su Yan can attack the Zerg battleship unscrupulously. Although these Zerg battleships are powerful, they have nothing to do. They can only watch helplessly as those Zerg battleships are destroyed by Su Yan. Su Yan controls the Hyperion, madly sweeping through the Zerg battleship group, crushing all these Zerg battleships into powder. All the soldiers on the Hyperion were excited, because they finally raised their eyebrows and swept through the Zerg battleship group, which was a very cool thing. Moreover, the loss of these Zerg has also increased their confidence a lot. After all, in front of these Zerg, they have no advantage at all. The speed of the Hyperion is too fast, and the shields of these Zerg are also very weak, so Su Yan can easily, DBCG, break through their shields. At the moment when the protective cover of these Zerg battleships was broken, Su Yan began to control the Hyperion to continue to attack. Boom! Another Zerg battleship was destroyed. Su Yan also ignored these Zerg corpses, but continued to control the Hyperion to attack other Zerg warships, completely destroying these Zerg warships. Under Su Yan's frantic attack, the loss of the Zerg battleship became more and more serious. The number of Zerg is constantly decreasing, and after a while, it has been reduced by 2/3. At this time, Su Yan also discovered the command mothership among the Zerg ships, that is, the Zerg command mothership. The defense of the Zerg command mothership is very strong and can withstand the attack of the Hyperion. Seeing this scene, Su Yan no longer hesitated, and directly controlled the Hyperion, rushing directly towards the Zerg command mothership. At this time, the main gun of the Zerg command mothership has been aimed at the Hyperion, ready to start an attack. Su Yan knew that the attack power of the Zerg command mothership was very terrifying. If he did not have the overloading skill of the Hyperion, he would not be able to stop the attack of the Zerg command mothership. Therefore, at this time, Su Yan did not hesitate, directly controlled the Hyperion and began to charge towards the main guns of the Zerg command mothership. At the moment when the main gun of the Zerg command mothership fired a beam of light, the Hyperion also fired a flame bomb. This flame bomb was also a flame bomb from the enhanced Yamato gun. The flame bomb collided with the beam of the Zerg command mothership, and then instantly vanished. Su Yan controlled the Hyperion and continued to ram toward the Zerg command mothership. The Zerg commanded the mothership's attack, and they couldn't help the Hyperion at all. They could only use the beam to deal with the Hyperion. The Hyperion directly penetrated the defensive cover of the Zerg command mothership and rammed directly towards the Zerg command mothership. The beams emitted by the main guns of the Zerg command Mothership were all blocked by Suyen. However, the Zerg battleships at this time are not easy to mess with. They launched a counterattack directly, and suddenly, a powerful electromagnetic wave rushed towards the Hyperion. Under the attack of this energy, the acceleration of the Hyperion was affected, and the speed suddenly slowed down. No, it's slowing down. Suyen was startled. I really didn't expect that the Zerg actually mastered this skill. I really underestimated them. On the Hyperion, Suyen looked around, and he found that the surrounding area was covered by the electromagnetic waves of these Zerg, and he could no longer see the outside situation clearly. Suyen knew that if there was no way to deal with these Zerg, then the speed of the Hyperion would not be able to increase. The Hyperion, turn on the defenses. Suyen ordered immediately. Defense is activated. The electronic sound of the Hyperion was also introduced into Suyen's ears. At this time, the Hyperion also began to adjust its own course, and then began to adjust its power system, began to accelerate, and at the same time, began to accelerate to increase its speed to the limit. Suyen also knew that now the Hyperion must improve her speed as soon as possible. Otherwise, the speed of the Hyperion will be overtaken by the Zerg command Mothership, or even surpass the Hyperion. At that time, the casualties of the Hyperion will be even heavier. However, it will take some time for the Hyperion to increase in speed. The Hyperion, while accelerating its speed, also continuously scans the surrounding Zerg, and then transmits the information of these Zerg back. In doing so, it can save more time, reduce casualties, and reduce consumption. The power system of the Hyperion is recovering. It seems that after the power system of the Hyperion is restored, their power will also return to the peak level, and we will be able to defeat them. Suyen analyzes the current situation. The power system of the Hyperion has not been completely repaired, and it can cause huge damage to the Zerg command Mothership. As long as the Hyperion is close to the Zerg command Mothership, then the Hyperion can easily break the Zerg command Mothership. Let the Zerg command Mothership completely collapse. The Zerg command Mothership is a super high-tech product of the Zerg. They have a super energy system, which can continuously manufacture energy weapons and continuously improve the combat effectiveness. Therefore, in the research of the Zerg super civilization, the Zerg command Mother, the role of the ship is very important. At this time, the power system of the Hyperion returned to its best state. Suyen maneuvered the Hyperion and began to accelerate, trying to approach the Zerg command Mothership. At this time, the Zerg command Mothership also launched an attack, attacking the Hyperion, and bullets, like raindrops, hit the shield of the Hyperion, stirring up bursts of violent energy. Fluctuation. The shield of the Hyperion is made of metal materials, so even if the Zerg beam cannon can penetrate the shield of the Hyperion, it cannot kill the Hyperion. Under the attack of the Zerg, the Hyperion was not at all disadvantaged, and they were also counterattacking these beam cannons, making the Zerg's beam cannons come back in vain. This situation has been going on for a long time. What a powerful defense system. Suyen saw the Zerg attack, and it had no effect on the Hyperion. Looks like I'll have to use the overclocked particle cannon to beat it. Suyen thought to herself. The attack power of the ultra-frequency particle cannon is far stronger than that of ordinary energy weapons. The ultra-frequency particle cannon can over-frequency diffuse the fluctuations of energy, thereby producing a powerful destructive force. At this time, the Hyperion also began to attack the Zerg command Mothership. The Hyperion, after accelerating, directly turned on the energy jet power of the overclocked particle cannon. And then a group of overclocked particle cannons flew out and bombarded the Zerg command Mothership, causing the Zerg command Mothership to issue a series of explosion, rumbling, operator. The Zerg command Mothership was attacked by the Hyperion, shaking constantly, and it seemed that it might collapse at any time. This attack method of the Hyperion is indeed very terrifying. Hyperion, full speed ahead. Suyen gave the order again. And then the Hyperion also turned on the fastest speed, and rammed towards the Zerg command Mothership, trying to crash the Zerg command Mothership. However, the defense system of the Zerg command Mothership is indeed very powerful. The Hyperion hit the defensive cover of the Zerg command mothership, but there was no response at all, leaving only white traces. When the Zerg command mothership saw Su Yan's Hyperion approaching, it also directly called a large number of Zerg ships to protect itself. The defense system of the Zerg command mothership has been enhanced to the greatest extent. Boom! The Hyperion slammed into the defensive cover of the Zerg command mothership again. The Zerg command mothership also swayed and suffered serious losses. Although the defense cover of the Zerg command mothership was very strong, it was still trembling under Su Yan's attack, and it seemed that it would collapse at any time. Although the energy cannon of the Zerg command mothership is relatively powerful, in front of the Hyperion, it cannot play any role at all. The shield of the Hyperion can withstand the attacks of these energy cannons without being affected by any damage. Ha ha ha, the defense of the Zerg command mothership is too bad. Su Yan laughed. Under the control of Su Yan, the Hyperion continued to frantically attack the Zerg command mothership. Su Yan controlled the Hyperion, swam back and forth above the Zerg command mothership, and attacked the Zerg command mothership. Although the Zerg command mothership also has a defense system, Su Yan controls the Hyperion, and the crazy attack, the energy cover of the Zerg command mothership, still has cracks, and it is getting bigger and bigger. The Zerg in the Zerg command mothership were also very angry. They mobilized energy cannons one after another and launched energy cannons at the Hyperion, bombarding the Hyperion. The Hyperion's defense system is very hard, and under this kind of intensive energy attack, there is still no problem. However, under this energy attack, Su Yan felt a little overwhelmed. The energy on the Hyperion is the energy used to support the warship. Now the energy on the warship has been consumed a lot. Therefore, when resisting the attack of the energy cannon, Su Yan is also constantly outputting energy to replenish the energy of the warship. Reserve. Although Su Yan's energy reserve is very sufficient, under the attack of the energy cannons on the Zerg command mothership, it still seems very stretched. ****. It seems that I can only use the overclocked particle cannon. I don't know if this trick will work. Su Yan thought to himself. The Hyperion, get ready to fire. Su Yan gave the order again, and the Hyperion's energy cannons opened fire. There are also many energy cannons on the Hyperion, and the number is not too many, but their power is extremely terrifying. On the Hyperion, all the energy cannons shot at the Zerg command mothership. The energy shield on the Zerg command mothership was finally unable to withstand the bombardment of so many energy cannons and was instantly destroyed. Then, the Zerg command mothership also suffered great damage. 0. At the moment when the Zerg command mothership was destroyed, the Zerg command mothership also exploded. Huge flames shot up into the sky, illuminating the starry sky and turning the galaxies red. The Zerg clone wanted to escape, and Bying directly used powerful spiritual energy to seal the Zerg clone, so that the Zerg clone couldn't move. Even if he wanted to escape, he couldn't do it. The White Warbler directly captured the Zerg's clone, and put their consciousness into a deep sleep state. After solving the Zerg clone, Su Yan controlled the Hyperion and quickly flew to the place where the Zerg battleship crashed. Where the Zerg command mothership crashed, there was no light of energy, only a piece of charred black and ashes remained. The Zerg fleet without the command mothership followed instinct and escaped from the Zerg command mothership. Catch up with them. Su Yan instructed the Hyperion, and the Hyperion chased after the group of Zerg. The speed of the Zerg was not very fast. Su Yan drove the Hyperion to chase the Zerg, and chased the Zerg for a distance of tens of thousands of kilometers before chasing the Zerg. Boom boom boom. The muzzle of the Hyperion constantly spewed out columns of energy, slamming on these Zerg, and immediately, these Zerg were riddled with holes. The Hyperion was constantly bombarding the Zerg. Although these Zerg were powerful, they were still very difficult to resist under the powerful shelling of the Hyperion, and the Zerg were constantly being killed. If you're enjoying my content, please consider donating a coffee. Or checking out my shirts on TeePublic. Although the number of Zerg was huge, they could not resist the attack of the Hyperion, and were quickly defeated by the Hyperion. Su Yan drove the Hyperion, shuttled in the Zerg army, and constantly attacked this group of Zerg, making this group of Zerg have to flee in embarrassment. In this battle, the performance of the Hyperion was also quite outstanding. Its blow to the Zerg caused these Zerg to suffer heavy losses. Su Yan took control of the Hyperion and pursued the Zerg. The Hyperion is worthy of being a battleship. Although the defensive energy shield on this battleship is very weak, unlike the shell of a battleship, it can perfectly withstand the bombardment of energy cannons. However, the energy shield on the Hyperion is very powerful. Thick. The combat effectiveness of the Hyperion also showed 110 at this moment, which was surprising. The Hyperion is one of the best energy weapons Su Yan currently has. The defensive energy shield on the Zerg command mothership is not only more powerful, but also stronger than the Hyperion's defensive energy shield. Under the attack of the Hyperion, the Zerg also suffered heavy losses. The bombardment of the Hyperion can not only easily destroy the Zerg's defense cover, but even destroy the Zerg's internal structure, causing huge damage to the interior of these Zerg. The Hyperion is the most powerful energy weapon Su Yan currently possesses. This battleship can be said to be invincible. Boom! Su Yan was in control of the Hyperion again, and continued to attack a Zerg battleship on the other side. The Zerg battleship was also blown up by the Hyperion and turned into ruins. The number of Zerg battleships is very large, but these Zerg can't resist Su Yan's Hyperion. Once the Hyperion's energy cannons attack, these Zerg battleships, like paper, can be easily destroyed. Destroy. The destruction of the Zerg command mothership has a huge impact on the Zerg, which makes the Zerg demoralize and retreat continuously. Once these Zerg were caught up by the Hyperion, they would only be killed. The Hyperion's attack is very sharp. Although these Zerg soldiers are very powerful, their intelligence is very low, and they can't resist the Hyperion's attack at all. Under the bombardment of the Hyperion, the loss of the Zerg was also very serious. Almost all of the Zerg battleships were destroyed by the Hyperion, and the remaining battleships were also surrounded by the Hyperion, making the Zerg the battleship had no chance of escaping. The Hyperion kept bombarding this group of Zerg warships, constantly harvesting the lives of these Zerg, making the number of Zerg continue to decrease. Under Su Yan's pursuit, the Zerg battleship was overtaken by the Hyperion, and was directly smashed by the Hyperion. Boom! With a loud bang, the Zerg battleship turned into a ball of energy rays and dissipated in the universe. After the Zerg battleship was shattered, Su Yan controlled the Hyperion and continued to chase the next Zerg battleship. On the Hyperion, there was a roar from time to time. The Hyperion was also loaded with a lot of energy cannons. Su Yan manipulated the Hyperion and fired energy cannons to bombard these Zerg battleships. Although these battleships were tyrannical, they soon became fragmented under the bombardment of the Hyperion, and were blown into pieces. Scrap iron, drifting away with the wind. The rest of the Zerg fleet directly entered the void crack, and Su Yan did not continue to pursue after seeing this. On the Hyperion, Su Yan can also see the void cracks. These void cracks are swallowing those Zerg, making those Zerg less and less. The attack power of the Hyperion is too powerful. Even if the Zerg has a powerful life form, it is difficult to resist the bombardment of the Hyperion. Under the violent bombardment of the Hyperion, the Zerg were annihilated one by one. And this time, the system triggered. Sign in Void Rift. Yes. Congratulations to the host, you have completed the sign-in and obtained 1,000 chronodimensional minecarts and 1,000 dimsmen. Su Yan's face brightened when he heard the system's prompt. 1,000 superdimensional minecarts, this is simply too awesome. 1,000 superdimensional minecarts, that is equivalent to 1,000 Zerg command motherships. And it is still a rank Zerg command mothership. So many superspace minecarts are enough to cultivate a group of Zerg command mothership arms, and Su Yan is also confident that these superspace minecarts can cultivate Zerg command mothership arms. Without any hesitation, Su Yan clicked to confirm immediately. The next moment, the picture of the system appeared in Su Yan's mind. In this battleship, Su Yan can also inquire about the situation of the superdimensional minecart. but this time, Su Yan is not inquiring about the energy in the superdimensional minecart, but information about other materials. Chronospace ore is a very special existence, a very rare material in the universe. This supertemporal ore, in some special places, can activate a certain degree of rule power, and is an extremely rare material. Ordinary people, even if they know about such things as chronospace ore, would not dare to collect them casually. Chronospace ore requires energy to absorb energy. And superspace ore is not a general substance, it needs high-tech refining to be able to make. These refining methods require a superspace ore, and then the refiner will process it, and the superspace ore, it became better than ordinary ore, thus forming the chronostone, also known as chrono energy crystal. The superspace 2.6 energy crystal can directly absorb all kinds of energy in the universe. In the abyss of the universe, many planets contain a large number of superspacetime energy crystals. These superspacetime energy crystals are composed of various minerals in the universe, but this kind of minerals is relatively messy, so it is easy to cause various energies collide and explode in the universe. However, this superspace energy crystal is very precious. In a universe, only a few hundred superspace ores are produced in total, and these superspace ores are all very precious ores. These superspace ores are very precious, and not something ordinary people can get. The value of these superspace ores is very high, because these are the top minerals in the universe, and they are very difficult to find. It is very difficult to find some ores. Su Yan searched for other minerals, and he hoped that he could find a large amount of chrono ores, so that he could use chrono energy crystals to create a large number of chrono Air Force regiments. With Su Yan's efforts, he finally found a large amount of supertemporal ores, and these supertemporal ores are very rare and are the most cherished ores that Su Yan has ever encountered. He put all the supertemporal ores into the storage compartment of the Hyperion. The space on the Hyperion is huge enough to put down these supertemporal ores. In this battle, the Hyperion defeated the Zerg fleet, causing heavy losses to the Zerg fleet. In this way, Su Yan also made a lot of money. The Zerg suffered heavy losses, and Su Yan was not idle, rummaging through the wreckage of the Zerg fleet, looking for other things. In the wreckage of the Zerg, there are many weapons and equipment of the Zerg battleship. These weapons and equipment are also very precious. If Su Yan can get it, it can greatly improve the combat effectiveness of the super spaceship. However, Su Yan did not do this. Because 31 he had already found a lot of supertemporal energy crystals, and he now has no shortage of supertemporal crystals, so he did not choose these supertemporal crystals. After searching the Hyperion for a long time, Su Yan realized that his luck seemed to be really good, and he actually found a space for storing energy. Huh? How come there is energy here? Su Yan was shocked, and immediately rushed to the area where the energy was stored. In the wreckage of the Zerg, Su Yan quickly found an area. The energy reserves in this area are very rich, and there are also many superdimensional minecarts in this place, but these superdimensional minecarts are only low-level supercars. The timespace minecart did not meet the standard of timespace ore. Therefore, Su Yan is not very fond of these superdimensional minecarts. However, Su Yan is very curious about this area, and he plans to search this area first, and then explore it. These superdimensional minecarts have no effect on Su Yan. After all, there is infinite energy in his energy pool now, and this energy is enough for Su Yan to use for a few years. Moreover, the energy in the energy pool is getting more and more full. If he gets some particularly precious energy this time, it may be able to make his energy pool grow faster. Thinking of this, Su Yan began to search the area carefully, and soon, Su Yan found a storage room in the corner of the storage room. Su Yan walked in, opened the door of the storage room, and found a picture scroll hanging on the wall of the storage room. This picture scroll was a huge image. The image was a huge egg, and inside the egg was a huge the palace. The palace is very big, and this egg still emits a faint light. It seems that some kind of terrifying creature is bred. Seeing this huge egg, Su Yan's heartbeat suddenly accelerated. He had a very familiar feeling. It was like, this egg, he once owned, but then forgot about it, so this familiar feeling, that's how he reacts. Is the egg here the rumored chrono egg? Su Yan thought to himself. He has only heard of this super space egg, but he has not tried it himself, and now he wants to know the effect of this super space egg. Su Yan reached out and touched it, and suddenly felt a strong attraction, attracting him to approach this super space egg. Su Yan couldn't help but wondered, is this really a chrono egg? Why is there such a strong attraction? Thinking of this, Su Yan's heart surged with excitement. If this super space egg is really the super space egg he imagined, then this means that he can use super space energy crystals, use these energy crystals, to create more overtime Air Force regiments. At that time, he can easily defeat the Zerg army, and he can also kill the Zerg and capture these super space energy crystals. Su Yan was very eager to get this chrono egg, so he continued to approach the chrono egg, and stopped when he was 3 meters away from the chrono egg. There are many energy crystals on the super space egg. These energy crystals shine with light blue light and look very beautiful, and there are strange ripples on these energy crystals, which makes people feel very comfortable. This is space crystallization. Space crystal. This space crystal is very precious, and can make very precious weapons and equipment. Su Yan muttered to herself. Space crystals are very rare, and in the universe, they are very rare, because space crystals are so rare. The preciousness of space crystals is even more precious than a cosmic stone. Since this super space egg was left over from the Zerg battleship, this super space egg will definitely be much more precious. Su Yan's heart was very excited, but he also controlled his mood very rationally. This chrono egg is very precious, there should be some things left by the Zerg here, I'll find some things first. Su Yan thought, and then he carefully searched around the chrono egg. He first saw some metal materials, metal fragments, etc., stacked in the storage room. These materials, metal fragments, etc., were collected by the Zerg, and then they were neatly stored aside. Su Yan looked at these materials, metal fragments, and kept his eyes on these materials and metal fragments. Because there are so many ingredients, Su Yan had to spend time picking things up a little bit. These materials, metal fragments, etc., are a bit outdated, but they are still invaluable treasures. It took Su Yan about 20 minutes to finally select all these materials and metal fragments. He picked up a metal fragment and looked at it. This metal fragment is very hard and emits a soft white light. Looks very hard, and it also contains a very strong energy. It seems that these energies come from this metal fragment. Su Yan picked up the piece of metal and looked at it carefully, and then he felt a strong attraction from the piece of metal. This attraction is very strange, but it is not like energy attracting him, but a mysterious energy. This energy is very pure. Su Yan has never felt it, because in the Star Alliance, there is no energy that can interact with compare this energy. Su Yan carefully observed this piece of metal. This piece of metal exudes a pale green energy. It seems that there is some energy that is slowly melting into it. Could it be life energy? No, impossible, I have never seen life energy. This kind of energy is so thin that it is impossible to produce such a strong attraction. Su Yan shook his head and denied this possibility. Then, Su Yan turned his attention to the other side of the metal shards. It was a piece of armor, which seemed to be a very delicate piece of armor. It seemed that this armor was also a very powerful piece of equipment. Su Yan reached out and touched the armor. The appearance of this armor is very strong, but its material is very fragile. Su Yan used a little force to destroy the armor. The material of this armor is very fragile. When Su Yan exerted a little force, the armor turned into powder and disappeared in front of Su Yan. It is worthy of being a relic of a super technological life. It seems that these armors are very hard, but under my attack, they are vulnerable. Su Yan nodded, very satisfied, and said, after rummaging around in this warehouse, Su Yan found that although the things in this warehouse are very complete, there is nothing that can be used, because these things are not very precious things. There is nothing of high value here. Su Yan is also preparing to leave the Oris galaxy, and Su Yan has no intention of staying here for a long time. Because he knows that there are still a large number of Zerg troops in the void cracks, and his current strength, fighting them head-on, is just hitting stones with eggs. Therefore, he decided to leave the Aura system immediately. Su Yan wandered around the planet a few times, and then, he left. Before leaving, he took the superdimensional egg with him. This superdimensional egg was the wreckage of the spaceship. Moreover, Su Yan could not guarantee whether there was a Zerg detection instrument on the superdimensional egg, so, just in case, he had to take this chrono egg with him. The detection equipment on the chrono egg, Su Yan has already been cleaned up, because the Zerg in the chrono egg has not detected this at all, which also saves Su Yan some trouble, lest the Zerg detect the chrono egg, and deal with yourself. Su Yan hurried to the direction of the Sacred Galaxy. The Sacred Galaxy is also where the coordinates of the Garden of Eden are located. Su Yan found that the so-called Garden of Eden is actually a paradise planet that is very suitable for human habitation. Moreover, this planet is also a civilization of science fiction civilization. There are many scientific research projects, such as, there are many scientists who are studying how to travel the universe. The level of technology in the Garden of Eden is quite high. Su Yan came to the atmosphere of the Garden of Eden. He looked up at the blue sky and murmured, "This Garden of Eden is quite good. If we can get all the scientific research projects here, then the technological level of our human beings will definitely be improved. Improve a lot." Su Yan thought to herself. He thought that the scientists in the Garden of Eden were making a bold attempt, that is, to allow human beings to have the ability to travel into the universe. The scientists in the Garden of Eden want to make human beings have the ability to fly in space through this scientific plan. This plan has been successful. Now, in the Garden of Eden, a large-scale spaceship is being built. This time, in the Garden of Eden, a lot of soldiers were dispatched to build aircraft carrier battle groups one by one. Then, they began to build battle aircraft carrier battle groups one by one in the star field of the Garden of Eden. Now, on the space aircraft carrier in the Garden of Eden, there are already 5,000 or 6,000 combat aircraft carrier battle groups. These 5,000 or 6,000 combat aircraft carrier battle groups are all composed of war fortresses carried into the Galaxy of Eden. These war fortresses are all the best battle fortresses in the Garden of Eden, and the combat power of each battle fortress is very terrifying. Moreover, the war fortress will also use large missiles and laser cannons to attack the enemy during the battle. Therefore, under normal circumstances, this battle fort is not easy to damage, because these battle fortresses are all cast with special alloys. The combat power of these battle fortresses is very terrifying, so in the Garden of Eden, the security measures for these battle fortresses are very strict. In the Garden of Eden, there are some specialized academies. They study cosmonautics. These academies study various items in the universe, and they have also made some modifications to some interesting things. And Su Yan intends to use the Qinglong course ship in the Garden of Eden to start building his own territory. He intends to build an ecological star in the galaxy of the Garden of Eden. The galaxy in the Garden of Eden is much more prosperous than the Orus galaxy. This universe is very huge, so here, there are many resources, such as various minerals. These resources are very precious. There are also many planets in the Garden of Eden. These planets have been transformed into the shape of planets by the scientists of the Garden of Eden using a lot of technology. For example, somewhere in the Garden of Eden, there is a star field that is large enough, and Su Yan wants to build a galaxy of his own in this star field. This idea, Su Yan did not tell others, because the idea was too crazy. Su Yan was afraid of causing panic. The Garden of Eden is a very large star field. Su Yan only wants to build a planet. Then, the resources obtained Su Yan needs are very huge, and the resources to build a planet are not just as simple as resources. If it's just resources, then Su Yan can completely collect it by himself, and Su Yan can buy various technologies. As long as you have money, you can buy various technologies. In the Garden of Eden, Su Yan has purchased a set of interstellar maps of the Garden of Eden. This set of interstellar maps records all the planets in the Garden of Eden, including those that do not belong to the Garden of Eden, are marked. And the resources of the Garden of Eden are also very rich. In the Garden of Eden, there are various mines, various resources, and various mineral deposits. Even, there is a place inside the Garden of Eden, which is the largest star field in the entire universe and is also the Garden of Eden. One of the most important resources. The resources stored here are very rich, and it can be said to be the treasure house of the Garden of Eden. If a city can be built here, then Su Yan can buy some commercial properties from here. Transforming commercial industries into scientific research industries, for example, can produce various weapons, various technologies, various pharmaceuticals, etc. Moreover, the technology here is also very advanced. Scientists can also produce various high-tech products. It can be said that the technology in the Garden of Eden is very advanced. If a planet of technological civilization can be built here, then, Su Yan can build his own scientific base here. In this way, Su Yan's research here can get great help, and the Garden of Eden can also learn from other planets, so that the technology of the Garden of Eden will be more. The advanced technology can also enhance the strength of scientists. In this regard, Su Yan has absolute confidence. So Su Yan used the Qinglong course ship in the Garden of Eden and started to build his own territory. As a result, during the construction process, the Dragon Soul Hunter, one of the 10 heavenly kings, was also eyeing this place and wanted to occupy this paradise planet. Therefore, he brought with hundreds of soldiers from the Garden of Eden. They attacked the Qinglong course ship. Dragon Soul Hunter, one of the 12 super warriors in the Garden of Eden, is extremely powerful. Su Yan was not present when he led hundreds of soldiers to attack the course ship of Qinglong. Buying found at a glance. Now, this Dragon Soul Hunter's supernatural ability is very powerful, and her strength is very powerful. In the war, the Dragon Soul Hunter can be said to be the sharpest existence, so Buying rushed over at this critical moment, fighting with the Dragon Soul Hunter together. Although the strength of the Dragon Soul Hunter is very tyrannical, the strength of Bai Ying is also very tyrannical. The two fight together, the battle is fierce, and it is indissoluble. However, Bai Ying still has the advantage, because Bai Ying has the Qinglong course ship. In the Garden of Eden, the Qinglong course ship's combat power is the most powerful, and the intelligence in the Garden of Eden can also mobilize the Qinglong course ship at any time. Bai Ying had the Azure Dragon course ship and easily defeated the Dragon Soul Hunter. When the Dragon Soul Hunter saw Su Yan coming, he also recognized that Su Yan was the new 10 heavenly king, and he regretted it very much. If he had known that the newly promoted 10 heavenly kings would be so powerful, the Dragon Soul Hunter would definitely not be so reckless. However, the Dragon Soul Hunter did not dare to run away, because he also saw that Su Yan was surrounded by many super experts, and the aura of those masters was very powerful. At this time, the Dragon Soul Hunter also knew that Su Yan is not easy to mess with. Su Yan snorted coldly, "With your strength, you want to snatch the Azure Dragon course ship? Courting death? No, don't kill me, we don't commit river water, you see I'm just a little hunter, unlike you kings, I don't want to offend you." Dragon Soul Hunter hurriedly apologized to Su Yan and said. Su Yan sneered and said, "Do you think you can run away if you want to run away now?" Su Tianwang, "I was wrong, I should not be greedy for your things." Dragon Soul Hunter said quickly. This time, the Dragon Soul Hunter really regretted his death. He originally thought that with his 300 troops, he should be able to grab the Azure Dragon course ship, but he didn't expect it to be Su Yan's Azure Dragon course ship. Su Yan said, "Since that's the case, then I don't want to kill you, so let's just stay and do the hard work." The Dragon Soul Hunter felt helpless for a while. He did not expect that Su Yan would say this. The Dragon Soul Hunter is also very clear in his heart that Su Yan did this to save him face. If his subordinates were killed, then he might not let these soldiers go, but if it wasn't for him, these soldiers will not be injured at all. So the Dragon Soul Hunter also feels a little uneasy in his heart. Su Tianwang, I am willing to compensate you for your losses. As long as you are willing, I can give you 3 battleships and 1 DBCG, billion star coins. The Dragon Soul Hunter gritted his teeth and said. Oh? This is your sincerity. Su Yan was very satisfied when he heard what the Dragon Soul Hunter said. These 3 battleships are made by the Dragon Soul Hunter himself. Although the power of these battleships is not comparable to Su Yan's Azure Dragon Course ship, the price of these battleships is also very expensive. Can't afford it. The Dragon Soul Hunter was relieved to see the smile on Su Yan's face. If it was someone else, the lion would definitely open its mouth, but they didn't have the lion's big mouth, which is to give themselves enough face. Su Yan said with a smile, "Well, I'll give you a face, but you have to do it for me. If you don't do it well, I don't mind killing you." Yes, I got it. The Dragon Soul Hunter hurriedly said, scolding Su Yan in his heart, if it wasn't for his greed, he wouldn't have gotten to where he is now, and if he had a choice, he would rather die himself. Dragon Soul Hunter was very angry in his heart, but when facing Su Yan, he didn't dare to show anything. Yes, I get it, we'll be careful. The Dragon Soul Hunter gritted his teeth. Dragon Soul Hunter and his army stayed to help, but also a price. Su Yan is not afraid that the Dragon Soul Hunter will play tricks. After all, Su Yan has let the Eden Brain to monitor the Dragon Soul Hunter and his army's every move. Su Yan believes that the Dragon Soul Hunter's army will not be foolish to take risks. Su Yan let his brain monitor the Dragon Soul Hunter, and the Dragon Soul Hunter was also very speechless, but he had no choice. Su Yan looked at the Dragon Soul Hunter and said, "Okay, you can do it now, and when you're done, tell me, and I'll check it myself." Yes. The Dragon Soul Hunter gritted his teeth and said, he also knew that if he didn't do a good job, his life might be in danger. The Dragon Soul Hunter turned and left, ready to go on a mission. Wait a moment. The Dragon Soul Hunter stopped and said, "King Su, is there anything else?" Su Yan shook his head and said, "It's okay, you go." "Yes, here I go." The Dragon Soul Hunter said, then turned and left. Su Yan looked at the back of the Dragon Soul Hunter leaving. He sneered and said, "This time, even if it is for the face of Eden's brain, I will give you a chance to reform. If you don't know how to cherish it, then don't blame me for being rude." After the Dragon Soul Hunter left, Su Yan ignored the Dragon Soul Hunter and turned to the Azure Dragon Course ship and said, "Now you can start building your own territory." The Qinglong Course ship immediately began to operate and began to build itself. After a while, the Azure Dragon Course ship was all built, and then began to sail in the universe. Su Yan stood in the cabin of the Qinglong Course ship and looked at this huge spaceship. Su Yan was also very shocked. This huge spaceship was the first time Su Yan saw this huge spaceship. It's really big. Compared with Su Yan's Qinglong Course ship, it's simply too big. Although Su Yan's Azure Dragon Course ship is said to be very large, the speed of Su Yan's Azure Dragon Course ship is only 5 times the speed of sound, while this huge Azure Dragon Course ship can reach 8 times the speed of sound. This speed is absolutely amazing. This is because the materials of this Azure Dragon Course ship are all made of cyan metal, so this Azure Dragon Course ship can only reach 8 times the speed of sound, but if it is an ordinary material, it cannot reach 8 times the speed of sound at all. This is the particularity of the Qinglong Course ship. However, the material of the Azure Dragon Course ship is made of cyan metal, which is not a particularly strong metal. If it is burned with fire, it can burn a lot of cyan metal. Therefore, the Azure Dragon Course ship does not have much defense power, but is very fragile. Su Yan looked at the Qinglong Course ship, and he was very happy in his heart. He did not expect that he would actually own such a huge battleship, and that there were actually 3,000 mechas in this battleship. This number is really shocking. Moreover, when Su Yan saw these 3,000 mechas, she was also a little surprised. Because the body shape of these 3,000 mechas are all silver and white, and they look very beautiful. No matter from which angle, these mechas are exactly the same, and there is no difference. Su Yan also saw the weapon systems of these 3,000 mechas, and these weapon systems were all electromagnetic guns. The power of these electromagnetic guns is very powerful and can easily penetrate a planet, but Su Yan is very puzzled, since these mechas are electromagnetic guns. Why are these mechas without electricity? Could it be that these mechas are equipped with some high-tech facilities to shield the energy of the electromagnetic guns? If that's the case, then the power of these electromagnetic guns is really terrifying. There must be some super weapons in these mechas. Thinking of this, Su Yan also felt very excited. If he could have a super weapon, his strength would definitely be improved. Su Yan was really looking forward to it, and he couldn't wait to see what kind of high-tech products were inside these mechas that could exert such great power. Well, now start building the Qinglong territory, Su Yan ordered. As Su Yan's voice fell, the Azure Dragon course ship immediately started and sailed into the distance. Boom! As the Azure Dragon course ship controlled by Su Yan began to move, the entire universe trembled, and a strong engine storm swept all around. The Azure Dragon course ship, like a wild beast, flew towards an area. In this space, there are many asteroids. These asteroids, in front of Su Yan's Qinglong course ship, are like children's toys, destroyed at will. The Azure Dragon course ship flew for 2 days and finally entered an open space. Su Yan knew that this place was the Qinglong territory, and he immediately ordered all the mecha warriors to start landing here. Su Yan took the Brain of Eden, followed behind, and entered the Qinglong territory together. After entering the Azure Dragon territory, Su Yan immediately felt that the air inside the Azure Dragon territory was much fresher than the outside, and the energy inside the air was also much richer than the outside. This is Su Yan's new territory. His new territory is the Azure Dragon territory. The size of this territory is much larger than Su Yan's original territory. The environment here is also more suitable for survival. Inside the Azure Dragon territory, it is all made of steel. Steel is also a special substance in the Azure Dragon territory. Living in the Azure Dragon territory, there is no need to worry about pollution. In the Azure Dragon territory, there is also a river. This river is formed by the water of the Azure Dragon territory. This river is very wide and can support many human beings. In the Qinglong territory, there are also some small planets. These planets were conquered by Su Yan. These planets have a lot of resources, and these planets are very rich. On these planets, Su Yan can grow a lot of things. These things can increase Su Yan's wealth, and at the same time, can cultivate a variety of medicinal materials. Su Yan can get the top medicinal materials here. The area of Qinglong's territory is much larger than that of Su Yan's original territory. Su Yan did not expect that the area of this territory is actually several times as large as the original. Unbelievable. However, the larger the area of Qinglong's territory, it is also helpful for Su Yan. 0. After all, the place where Su Yan was originally was just a subbase of Su Yan, where Su Yan only had a population of several billion, and in the Azure Dragon territory, Su Yan needed to build a city, and it took a long time to prepare. But now, the area of the Qinglong territory is large enough, and there is no shortage of resources. With this territory as a backing, after Su Yan, you can also safely search for various materials and refine a set of perfect weapons. At the same time, the Qinglong territory can also become Su Yan's army. Of course, Su Yan has another idea, that is, to build the Qinglong territory into a huge battlefield. Those people in the Qinglong territory also need a strong protective umbrella. Now, the area of the Azure Dragon territory has expanded more than 100 times, and there are many asteroids that can make this Azure Dragon territory more stable. These asteroids also have some benefits for the humans on this planet. Under Su Yan's order, these mecha warriors entered the Qinglong territory one after another and began to build. Under the control of Su Yan, various buildings in the Qinglong territory were quickly constructed. Su Yan asked these mecha warriors to build various factories and houses here. In the Qinglong territory, there are countless machines that can allow these mecha warriors to work here. Soon, the Qinglong territory was successfully built. Thank you for watching Mystic Realms Recap. Please like, share and subscribe. Have a great day.